Hey there, friends. Welcome back to episode 2 of Who the Heck Did I Marry? So, as of the last episode, I had met Ken at karaoke. We had kind of hit it off, and our karaoke host friend had invited us to karaoke the following night at a new bar that he was karaokeing at. He wanted some of his regular singers to be there, so he looked pretty awesome. So, he had said, "Hey, any chance you guys can be there?" And I said, sure, I really don't have much going on. And then Ken said, yeah, I can be there too. So Ken says to me, hey, why don't we exchange phone numbers so then we can, meet up there? And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I give him my number. He shoots me a text, hey, what up? Okay, so now we've got each other's numbers and we said goodnight. We got in our cars and we drive home. So it was about 30 minutes for me to get home from this bar. So I was just pulling into my driveway at my home when I get a text, and I'm thinking, man, it's late for a text message. And I look at it and it's Ken. Ken says, I hope you made it home safe. It was so nice meeting you. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Wow. Oh, okay. I thought we were just going to support the karaoke host, but now, I hope I made it home safe. Okay. Yep, just pulled into the driveway, excited to get some sleep. Work comes early tomorrow. I'll let you know when I'm done with my blind guy, and I'll, shoot you a text. Okay, sleep well. We'll talk tomorrow. Good night. Okay, good night. We go to sleep. So I get up the next morning, get ready to go to work, and I'm just about to leave my house to go to work, and I get a text. Good morning. Hope you have a great day. From Ken. Wow. I didn't know giving this guy my number. I mean, and at this point in time, I'm not quite sure what I feel about him. I don't know. He was a guy who sang with me at the bar. We had maybe an hour-long conversation, just getting to know each other. I didn't feel like he was hitting on me. But again, I tell you that I was not the one who was always pursued, so maybe I was a little naive. But now that I'm getting all these text messages, I'm like, I'm wondering if he thinks that something more is going on here. And so I was like, good morning, have a great day. Left it there. So I go to work, and I'm sitting at my desk at work, and I'm telling my coworker, I went to karaoke last night. Oh, she asked me about the blind date because she knew the blind date was happening. So she was like, hey, tell me about the blind date. And I was like, oh my gosh, total dud. Like, it was very, very awkward. Like, we went to the movies and we went Dutch. Like, he paid for his ticket, I paid for mine. He didn't want popcorn or soda. I got popcorn and soda because I can't go to a movie without popcorn. And then we went back to my house, and he wanted to come to my house, and we both, were sitting and watching TV, but he was on one side of the couch. It was so awkward. And then my friend bailed me out and was like, hey, come to karaoke. And then about trying to leave karaoke, I kind of changed phone numbers with this guy because the karaoke guy wants us to go somewhere else for karaoke. And he's been like texting me like last night and this, well, what does it mean? I was like, I don't know. I guess I'll find out tonight. I'll have to tell you about it on Monday. And she was like, okay, well, next thing you know, my phone goes off. And he says, I'm just really trying to figure out, this is from Ken, of course. I'm just really trying to figure out how we went from, talking about college and life to having a date tonight. And I went, and I looked at my coworker and I said, hey, I have a date tonight. And she says, what? I said, he just said, we have a date tonight. I didn't know it was a date. I just thought we were meeting for karaoke to support our karaoke friend. Like, I didn't know this was a date. Okay. So I'm like, I'll be honest. I didn't know this was a date. I was like, doesn't date normally include dinner? I just thought I'd be a little coy, a little friendly. And he says, you want to meet up for dinner? I was like, well, I I have my blinds being installed, and when I get home, they're going to be installing the blinds, but I don't think it's going to take that long. I just moved into a new house, but as soon as I'm done with the blinds, like, yes, but karaoke at this particular place wasn't starting till 9 o'clock. So, you could technically have dinner at 7 or 8 o'clock and still, make it to karaoke. So, he was like, why don't I come pick you up around 6? If the blind guy's not done, we can hang out until he is, and then we'll go to dinner. Now he's offering to drive. The bar we were going to go to was a bit further than the other bar we had been at the other night, probably a 45-minute drive, and he's going to come get me. I was like, well, I kind of live pretty far out as Arizona goes. I lived in the East Mesa Valley, and we were headed to Ahwatukee for this karaoke night. And he was like, no problem, I'll come get you. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm talking to my brother's girlfriend, and I'm like, apparently I have a date tonight, and I don't know what to wear. And I mean, I hadn't had a date in a long time. Normally, if I dated anybody, it was, I was in band, I was in college. It was somebody I had known for a period of time. It was not like this random thing that happens. So, she helped me pick out an outfit. The blind guy came and went. And then, I texted him and said, the blind guy is gone. You're welcome anytime. He shows up. I'm wearing this jean mini skirt that I had borrowed from my brother's girlfriend, and it ends up that he has very uniquely a Ford Sport Track. So y'all remember there's the Explorer, right, which is the SUV, and then they made a truck version of it where basically they cut it off behind the second row seat and then gave it a shorty little truck bed. It was called the Sport Track, the Explorer the Explorer Sport Track, but they just call it Sport Track. So he had one of those, and it was lifted. So I'm in heels or wedges with a little jean mini skirt on, and I'm trying to, as gracefully as I can, lift myself into this truck. So we make it, and he's like, where do you want to go eat? And I was like, I like just about everything. So, I'm game. And he says, why don't we go to Payway? And I was like, okay, Payway sounds good, kind of fast food, but kind of not. So we go to Payway, we each order, he pays, which I offered. Don't worry about it. Okay, great. So we sit down at an outside table at Payway. Like I said, this is late August. So the weather is still very warm in Arizona. So we sit outside and we just are waiting for our food, and then the food comes and we just start having conversation. And he said, well, I've done a lot of online dating in the past where I've, met people on websites and things like that. And he said, I have this list of 20 questions that I like to send people before we actually meet on a first date, just to kind of see what their thinking is, how they answer, how we align. So he says, do you want to play 20 questions and I'll ask you the questions that were on this list, and then, we can both answer them for each other. And, okay, good. I'm in, that's good. And he's like, so they start off pretty easy and then they get a little bit more intense. Okay. So, question number 1 is what's your favorite color? And then question number 2 is, what's your favorite type of ice cream? And number 3 is something like, what's your favorite topping on a pizza? We start talking about things about like how old were you when you got your first kiss? Things are, getting a little bit more detailed, tell me about your parents' relationship, could be a deep, long subject, but we're getting there. And then he gets to a more hard-hitting question, and he said, and remember, this is first date talk. So he says to me, how old were you when you lost your virginity? And I went, wow, first date stuff. Okay. I said, well, I'm going to hold my answer to that for a little while. If you don't mind, we're just going to sit on that. And he was like, okay, why? And I was like, it's just something I'd like to tell you later, not here in this moment. Could I tell you later? And he said, okay. So we finished up our lovely dinner. And we headed off then to the bar where we were going to do karaoke. And that's where things started to get even more intense.